on our way to Terlingua and Lajitas, Texas. Again, riding shotgun with Mike Wallens. And Mike, I thought we should talk maybe a little bit about the border wall, which we talked quite a bit about a few years ago, but now there's some new plans to expand the border wall, particularly here in the Big Bend, along potentially Big Bend National Park, as well as the Big Bend Ranch State Park here in Texas. And I'd love it if you could kind of tell us about the environmental impact of that and kind of what the word on the street is out here in West Texas.
Okay. I'd love to. The wall is something that's physical wall here is not necessary, and I'm not sure if it would stay up because the border is the Rio Grande River, and it's not a straight flow. There's a lot of twists and turns to that river, and so what they'd have to do is build the wall farther into the United States, which would in effect cut off ranchers and farmers from the water supply, where they couldn't get across to pump the water out, and it certainly will block animal traffic. The animals really need both sides of the wall, and they need every area. Plus, if you have ever seen the canyons, we're talking about 1,000-foot walls already in existence, and the people who cross over here, it's really tough on their bodies and everything. And there have been a number of times where either I've been called by the Border Patrol to perform last rites, or get calls from people who, we had this professor from Tulane who was camping out in the far reaches of Big Bend National Park and literally stumbled across a young woman who was severely dehydrated, had no idea she was in the United States. And so fortunately, because of the coalition out here, we were able to get a doctor to give her an IV and to get her back to health and everything, where at least she could at least be coherent. I mean, when he picked her up, she just didn't make any sense at all. And so the wall out here is really not necessary. And then the impact on ranchers in getting to the water and the animals getting to the water is just and plus the tourism industry out here. If they put the wall where they first projected, the river guides, for example, they'd be out of a job because they couldn't get to the river to guide people on their canoes and everything. So, and tourism is a big industry out here. And so, I guess the only positive thing about even the idea of building a wall is what it's done is brought everybody together. If there's anybody who's opposed to the wall, they're not saying anything because I think they know how people would react. But this brings the most conservative people and the most liberal people together. We're marching in the roads, protesting side by side, shoulder to shoulder, and it is so nice to be able to be united around a cause. And so that's the positive thing from my perspective. And a lot of new relationships have formed across political divides because of this wall. And so that's the good part of this whole thing.
Because everybody's united against it.
Exactly.
If you're Republican or Democrat, conservative or political,
it doesn't matter.
Or liberal, it doesn't matter. Everybody,
rancher, artist, shopkeeper, everything. No one wants it.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like that even from a security standpoint, the language that's used is to talk about operational control of the border, meaning that the Border Patrol needs to respond, to see what's happening and respond by sending people to make arrests or what have you. And that where the wall is effective, as I understand it, is in urban areas where the amount of time, if someone's coming across the wall, the amount of time between when they get across the border and when they vanish is what matters. And out here, it's like, I mean, you can cross the border way over there and it'll take 3 or 4 hours or a couple of days to even get up here to this road. And so having a wall that delays someone because they have to climb it, that takes them 20 minutes to climb it or a half an hour to cut through it, it doesn't help the Border Patrol increase their response time in a meaningful way, but it does completely devastate the wildlife. It does cut off, because the wall would have to be built on American territory, so American citizens would literally lose thousands and thousands of acres of America that we're basically just ceding. We're increasing Mexico's territory, reducing the territory of the United States. And if you're a rancher, that territory that's being taken by the federal government is your ranch land.
Exactly.
And your access to the water. Or if you're a river guide, that whole industry requires access to the water, not just where you put in and where you take out, but if there's an emergency situation or something, you have to be able to get to your clients and to, get up out of the water. So maybe in an urban environment between El Paso and Juarez, you could make the argument that a border wall helps slow people down enough for the Border Patrol to get to them. But out here, it sounds like it doesn't make operational sense. It's way more expensive than putting sensors and cameras out there, and what you really need are people. So,
and there are sensors Border Patrol agents here. A number of years ago, got worried because they were doing a whole lot of search and rescue, and people were dying or near death when the Border Patrol could get to them. So a couple agents out here built in their garage these systems that were solar powered with cameras that and they put a sign saying, "You will not make it out of here alive. Please push this button and we'll come and get you." And the prototypes were built in a garage out here in Alpine and tried out, and now it's been adopted all along the border, and that's something the Border Patrol uses. And they use drones, and they're able to see things and animals, people coming and going, and that's our wall. Technology is the wall. And that's all that's needed out here. And the Border Patrol, while they can't say too much officially in Washington, in talking with the agents out here, I've not met an agent who thought it was a good idea to put the wall up out here.
Yeah, part of what I've heard is that, in Washington, they want a number. They want to highlight, we've increased the wall by this many feet or what have you. But out here, it's bad security, it's bad economically, it's bad for American freedom. There's just nothing to recommend building a wall out here.
Exactly.